Here's what's happening now. Don't let that sunshine fool you. We are back to freezing territory tonight, and we'll see how long this is going to continue through the week. Paula?
Some local kids get invited to Omaha for some investment advice from Warren Buffett, and they're also asked to stick around for a friendly ping pong game with Bill Gates. We've got the video and the kids.
Plus, breaking news, Sally Yates testifying on the events leading to the eventful firing of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. What she is saying about him and the Russians. And tense moments, a car crashes into a Dunkin' Donuts restaurant. How this happened.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. Today we are hearing from Roseville's police chief about a 4-year-old girl who died after being rushed to the hospital Wednesday night with stomach pain. An autopsy now confirms it was from blunt force trauma.
More than likely caused by a punch, but there's really no way to positively confirm that. But that took a massive blow to the midsection, which injured several internal organs.
The girl's mother and her boyfriend were at the home. 2 children have been removed from their care as an investigation continues this afternoon. Meantime, an investigation after a suspicious package was found at Gesu Catholic Church on Detroit's west side, prompting students to evacuate. Maintenance worker was cleaning a garage this morning when he found what he believed to be explosives, possibly from World War II. Students were then taken across the street to University of Detroit Mercy as police and bomb squads moved in. Police have not yet said if anything dangerous was found. Macomb County's Office of Public Works voted today to move forward on plans to repair new pipeline damage at the site of Fraser's sinkhole. New video released today shows severe cracking inside a portion of that pipeline. County Public Works officials say a special material will be needed to repair that cracking. The project could cost taxpayers $6 to $7 million. PepsiCo is asking customers to return certain 16.9-ounce bottles of Pepsi Coca-Cola sold here in Michigan this year. There is no safety issue, but the Pepsi company says it's received 18 complaints of a metallic taste from the time between late February to early April. Product codes for bottles that should be returned are on the consumer page of clickondetroit.com. Time now for our first look at the forecast. A blue sky, sun is out, but still a little chilly, Ben.
Yeah, Karen, for 2 mornings in a row now, this is going to be our second. We're looking at temperatures that are going to be below freezing in a good chunk of the area. All of us are under a freeze warning, and this lasts until 8 a.m. tomorrow. So again, if you've got those plants already in the ground, cover them up, bring the ones inside that you can. Temperatures, though, did recover nicely despite the fact that we got under 32 in spots this morning. 54 in Pontiac, 57 right now at Metro is our warmest location. Plenty of sunshine, a lot of clear skies, but that is what is going to lead to those cold temperatures tonight. So we get the freezing temps, and then for most of this week, we are going to be mainly dry. We'll look at the one shot of rain for the work week, how quickly we're also going to warm up, and some questions remaining about the weekend. We'll see if we can answer those coming up in a few minutes, Karen.
All right, thank you, Ben. The man who briefly served as National Security Advisor to then President-elect Donald Trump is again the focus of attention in Washington this afternoon, but you won't find Michael Flynn in Washington today. Kimberly Gill is in the newsroom to tell us who is talking about Flynn. Kim.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. Former Acting Attorney General Sally Yates is answering questions in front of a Senate subcommittee about what and when she told the Trump administration in regards to Michael Flynn's ties to Russia. Now, Flynn headed the Defense Intelligence Agency under President Obama, but was fired in 2014. Flynn did maintain a security clearance. A tweet from President Trump today pointed out that Flynn had received that clearance, but sources today reported President Obama personally warned the president-elect then about hiring Flynn during a post-election meeting. Sally Yates served briefly as acting attorney general this year before being fired by the White House. A short time ago, she testified about concerns she raised about Flynn's contacts with the Russians.
The Russians also knew about what General Flynn had done, and the Russians also knew that General Flynn had misled the vice president and others. Because in the media accounts, it was clear from the vice president and others that they were repeating what General Flynn had told them, and that this was a problem.
Also testifying today with Sally Yates is James Clapper. He is the former National Intelligence Director. Both are being questioned by that Senate subcommittee that I just mentioned. Now, the hearing is still going on. If you'd like to watch it, you can go to clickondetroit.com right after this newscast. Karen, we'll send it back to you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Kim. Well, a fourth American citizen has been arrested in North Korea. Police say 55-year-old Kim Song was arrested on charges of committing hostile acts against the country. Song is the second teacher arrested from the Pyongyang University of Science and Technology in the past 2 weeks. At this time, the U.S. has no diplomatic relations with North Korea, so the case is being handled by the Swedish embassy. President Trump is nominating Michigan Justice Joan Larsen for a new bench seat. Larsen is being tapped by the president to fill an opening on the 6th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. She's among Trump's first batch of 10 judicial nominees, which also includes Minnesota Supreme Court Judge David Strauss. More judicial nominees will be named in the coming months. Well, a new ruling is expected in President Trump's travel ban. Back in March, a Maryland judge imposed a nationwide freeze on that ban. Well, today, a federal appeals court will hear a challenge to that decision. The executive order sought to ban citizens from 6 majority Muslim countries from entering the U.S. The ban's critics say it violates the Constitution by targeting Muslims. The Trump administration is now hoping to convince the court the ban is motivated by national security and not religion. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has signed a bill that would ban sanctuary cities in his state. The governor signed that controversial bill Sunday as he broadcast on Facebook Live. It also happened while protesters gathered outside of the governor's mansion to denounce the new law. It goes into effect September 1st and will require local government and law enforcement to follow all federal immigration laws and request to detain criminals. Meantime, President Trump is putting pressure on Senate Republicans to solve any problems with the new health care bill. On Thursday, the American Health Care Act passed in the House despite no Democratic votes. Now, the Trump administration is looking to change the bill in order to gain more support. This all comes after Democrats have criticized the Republican-led Senate for the lack of women working on the new bill. Billionaire Warren Buffett gave his opinion on that bill this morning, specifically discussing what it would mean for his taxes.
It was huge what they did on cutting taxes for the rich in this. I mean, if there's one clear-cut message that comes out of that bill, it is we're going to cut the hell out of income taxes for the rich on investment income.
Buffett went on to say his taxes would be 17% lower under the new law, and he wouldn't have to do anything different. But that is not the only thing Buffett discussed in his interview. He also talked about a recent connection to Detroit. A group of local students were invited to meet the investor and learn financial principles from him. The kids got back in Detroit at around 6 in the morning, but in Omaha, they got a super surprise. Paula Tutman tells us who dropped in unannounced for a ping pong game.
Oh, they've got game. They've got big game. You're looking at video of Bill Gates playing ping pong. And this was really a great surprise to some kids who really thought they were just going to Omaha to get some investment advice from Warren Buffett. Well, here's something you don't see every day. Titans of finance with a bit of a pickup game of ping pong. Yep, that's Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. And in the front row, a group of teenagers from all over Metro Detroit who had a personal invitation to attend a shareholders meeting in Omaha, Nebraska this weekend.
It's because of the simple fact that Warren Buffett wanted us to come to his meeting and he doesn't even know us. That was just, yeah, it was really thoughtful of him.
Asked not to share any audio of the actual shareholders meeting, the students, part of a financial literacy group called Money Matters for Youth, a program that teaches sound financial advice, money management, and leadership skills to any kid Gail Perry Mason can get her hands on. So how did she score a personal invite from Warren Buffett? She happened to be in a suite with him at a football game and didn't think twice about striking up a conversation.
And I said, I've been doing this camp for 21 years. I divide the kids up, small cap, mid cap, and large cap. He loved it. We taught them golf. We taught them everything from how to read the stock page to how to look at Morningstar reports, Value Line. So he went everything that he does. And I said, we follow you. We do so much, behind you, and they read about you and they learn about you. He says, wow, will you bring them to the shareholders meeting? I just wanted to cry.
The teenagers spent 14 hours on a bus just to get to Omaha this weekend. Just got back at 6 a.m. this morning, bleary-eyed, almost in disbelief. They got to see their heroes up close and personal. They are truly changed by the experience, to get personal advice and to see that even billionaires are regular people too.
There are other things that you could do with your money that would be better than just games and shoes and all that. Yeah, it's not just about games and shoes. Just like if you like Nike, since we're talking about shoes, if you like Nike, then invest in Nike.
I've checked the stock market 3 times already, and it is only about 11 o'clock in the morning. I've already invested in 3 stocks that I'm persuading my parents to let me buy, which is Coca-Cola, Berkshire Hathaway Type B, and Snapchat. Yes. I am very excited about that.
So I guess we all know how difficult it is to reach 14-year-olds, you know, generally speaking, but I guess that's just not the case if you're Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, or John Rogers. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Paula. Still to come, crash conundrum. A car crashes in northern Michigan, but the reason why it happened is what has people talking today. Plus, the impact of bullying. New research sheds light on serious long-term effects, how to prevent future problems in victims. And fighting fat, why a common spice can aid in weight loss.
How you can. Coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
When you buy a pistol in Michigan, you have to register it with police. But now one legislator is hoping to change that. We'll tell you why tonight at 6. In good health, bullying has some serious long-term effects. Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with a new report that shows how significant those effects are.
Yeah, Karen, in fact, children who are bullied in elementary school may be at risk for depression and then substance abuse. In fact, a new study from Harvard shows that when they followed 4,000 children throughout their adolescence, those who were bullied the most in 5th grade showed more symptoms of depression into 7th grade, and then the effects continued on. These kids were also more likely to use alcohol, marijuana, and tobacco even into high school. Now, the researchers really suggested this all points to the idea that all youth should be screened by a doctor for pure victimization, depression, and of course, substance abuse.
And so many times it happens and you don't share it.
Exactly.
You're not sharing it with your parents. That's why you got to keep an eye on your kids.
That questioning is really important.
Another story that's kind of interesting today, if you like cinnamon, there may be some health benefits. That's always good.
Well, cinnamon, of course, has been touted as having a lot of potential health benefits, ranging from lowering your cholesterol to anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory effects, but none of them have really been well proven. So there's a new study that suggests now cinnamon may lower the risk of cardiovascular damage from a high-fat diet. Now, the researchers fed rats cinnamon supplements for 12 weeks with a high-fat diet. Well, the rats that were given cinnamon weighed less and had healthier levels of sugar, insulin, and fat in their blood. Now, it's thought that the rats were fed cinnamon were able to protect themselves because of an increased antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity, which we do know cinnamon probably does confer. So, even though it's a rat study, there's probably some ultimate implication in maybe eating a little more cinnamon in your
Put a little in your coffee, perhaps. Well, then you're probably not supposed to drink so much coffee. But
coffee's good.
That's right. I know you're a coffee guy. I know you are. All right. Thank you, Doug. Time now to talk about our weather. And Ben is back. And I have to say, I saw some neighbors planting this weekend.
Did you?
And I wanted to be like, you shouldn't do that.
I saw some neighbors covering their plants.
Yeah, but I know. I'm like, did you not see? It's going to get cold tonight.
Yeah, this is the second day in a row that we're going to have those numbers down below 32, but it looks nice out there right now.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
We'll start out down at Campus Martius, where the ice rink is gone. Probably, well, I guess it may have gotten some use tonight with those temperatures heading down towards the 20s in some locations. We are at 57, so pretty respectable recovery considering where we were this morning. Look at how dry that area is, 30% relative humidity. The wind is noticeable right now, but it is going to die down tonight. So dry air, lighter winds, clear skies, those are 3 ingredients to really see those temperatures crater, and that's what they're going to do tonight. We are right in the middle of 2 areas of cloudiness right here in the Great Lakes. High pressure has got us in control and will be for most of this week. In fact, when we look at what's going on just off to the south, there is a warm front down there that's bottling up those 80s across parts of Missouri and Iowa. We're not going to get on that, but we will see our temperatures warm up somewhat as we head into the upcoming weekend. We're also going to stay away from the rain. You can see that high is just going to sort of slide between those two areas of clouds, just enough to keep that rain off to our south. Another reinforcing shot of high pressure comes in midweek, and there's a chance Wednesday night we could see a sprinkle, but really that's it this work week. We've got a dry forecast until we get into the end of the upcoming weekend. So tonight we're looking at temperatures that are going to drop down close to freezing here in our metro zone. These are going to be some of our warmest numbers here around the city, very close to 32, probably just below that mark here in our northern suburbs. Get into the south zone, especially west in Lenawee County. That's where the 20s start showing up. 28 out in Onstead. Adrian, you'll be at 29. And we'll get a string of low 30s out here on the east side. All 20s in our west zone, except for maybe Novi and Canton, which will barely get 30 degrees for lows tonight. And pretty much 20s here in our north zone as well, as we've got one chilly day before we start warming up as we head towards the end of the week. 60 in the afternoon tomorrow, so better than we did today, and that's even going to be with a few extra clouds in the afternoon on Tuesday. Temperatures slowly getting there as we head towards the upcoming weekend. 63 is as good as it gets, at least for this week, and we've got a chance over the weekend of seeing a shower here on Saturday. Of course, we've got the Race for the Cure, we've got Mother's Day, and we've also got Weatherfest, which is going to be on Wednesday, so make sure you come out and see us at the Southfield Public Library on Wednesday. Karen?
All right, thank you, Ben. Still to come, camping for a concert. Which music superstar has people sleeping on the streets of New York City? And up next, in tense moments, a car crashes into a Dunkin' Donuts restaurant. How did this happen? We'll talk about it next. Time now for a look at our top trending stories this Monday. Let's start over in Southwest Miami, where a car crashed into a Dunkin' Donuts in Southwest Miami. This was the scene this morning. Footage from that area shows the car completely inside the store. Can you imagine? At least 6 people were injured. One of them is in critical condition. It's unknown what caused the crash, but witnesses say it appeared the driver, an older woman, hit the gas instead of the brake or drove forward instead of reverse. Well, back here in Michigan, a car crash Sunday morning in Leelanau County may have been caused by a spider. The 26-year-old driver was traveling northbound on South Good Harbor Trail when he was distracted by a spider on the visor above his head. That's when he veered off the road, ended up in a ditch near East Gatsby Road over in Centerville Township. He was uninjured, but his 29-year-old passenger suffered a minor wrist injury. No word on the condition of that spider.
That almost happened to me. I had the sunroof open, looked in the rearview mirror, and I had a spider sitting on my head and had a mini freak out.
And you started freaking. I didn't know that you're a fearful spider guy. All right.
There for the grace of God.
Oh, well,
stay on the road.
Okay. Thank you, Ben. Harry Styles fans, they're camping out for a chance to see their beloved singer. The former One Direction star, scheduled to perform on NBC's Today Show tomorrow, kicks off that summer concert series. Viewing for the shows are on a first-come, first-served basis. As you can see, fans already lining up to see Styles, who recently released his solo single, Sign of the Times. Still to come, Duck Dilemma, a group of little birds back with their mom after a dramatic rescue. Be right back. Breaking news just into our newsroom. An 18-year-old woman has been shot in Chesterfield Township. The scene is in the area of 21 Mile and Gratiot. There's no word yet on that woman's condition. We do have a crew heading there right now. We will bring you a live report during Local 4 News at 5, and of course instant updates on clickondetroit.com. Well, finally, first at 4, a group of ducklings trapped in a storm drain are now back with their mom.
Yep, Nashville, Tennessee fire and rescue crew was called out on Sunday. They removed the grate before actually climbing down into the drain and plucking them out one by one. Ducklings were then taken back to their mother as soon as the group was on its way, as if nothing ever happened.
Well, Local 4 is bringing Metro Detroit animal lovers together with our All for Pets page. You can find stories about pets, pet health, animal rescues, and local events. Just go to clickondetroit.com/pets. We would love to hear from you, and so many people are posting some really cute pics.
Yeah, you spent some time in Nashville. Did you see a lot of ducks waddling around?
Actually, I missed that. I did miss that, but I'm headed back, so I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, please.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us for First at 4. We are back in a half hour with Local 4 News at 5 and with the latest on the breaking news. Inside Edition is next.